right, should just take just a minute.
I'm up.
There. Should just take just a minute.
I see you.
All right. Good stuff.
Looks like I'm waiting for you, Nathan. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm on. All right. So good evening, everybody.
All right, let me redo it here.
Yeah, go ahead and just refresh it there, Kyle, because it's the lag part where there's a couple second lag.
There it is. Hey, Jamie, what's up, brother?
Hey, man.
So how's everybody doing tonight? We've got 5 viewers. I'm not seeing chat yet, so I don't know if that's because my thing isn't working or because nobody said anything. So
we got I'm sorry to interrupt you. We got Uncle Jim, Eagle Eye, Willie Bullet Man's here. A Mooser 316 is here. He says he has no link.
All right, man. I sent you a link on let me see here. Let me see if I can get it again.
Just do it like you did to me, because I couldn't get it either until you just texted it to me.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is I don't actually I don't think I have his phone number. Yeah, dude, never mind. All right, I got it. Loser, I'm gonna send that to your phone there, brother. At least I'm gonna try to.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week.
Well, it's Friday.
All day long.
I'm glad the week's over. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. I've been fighting with all kinds of things, between opening up a swimming pool, a salt chlorine generator, kids, got 2 teenagers, and that's fun. And work and driving all the kids wherever they need to be, and I just haven't had time to do anything. So once the kids went to their mother's house this evening, I actually had some time to do something. And I was in the middle of doing it when I get this link. Hey, we're live in 30 minutes. I'm, oh, man, really?
All right. I think I got the chat up and running.
Nathan, you up and good?
Yeah. All right. I texted a Mooser the invite link, and now I've got my chat up and running. So, hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming out. Got William C. Chaplin's here. Hey, nice to see you, brother. I've actually got some videos that you've done that I need to catch up on. I'm probably a week behind, something like that. Yeah, this week, man, that's been something. I've been doing this whole reloading room renovation. That's why we're in my living room, and you can probably see over my left corner like parts of an airplane, and I got stuff everywhere. I don't know how in the world my relatively neat, small reloading room held that much junk. It's everywhere. Like the study's completely full, like as tall as me full, and it's just crazy. It's everywhere. It's driving me berserk. Gotta get it fixed.
So how long till you're done?
Jamie, I don't know, man. I took off today so that I could work on it. The bench I can only build in a few sections at a time because I've only got like 8 clamps. And the way that the whole thing works, I'm afraid that if I glue too many sections together, I'll get that bow. You know what I mean? Where the center gets low. So I'm only able to do like 3 at a time. And then I got to wait for the glue to dry. And liquid nails takes like 2 days to really set. So that's taking forever. And then today I tore apart the door frame for the closet. I have no idea what I'm doing either. So trying to figure that out. But it's I'm hoping to be able to paint this weekend. And then I can start possibly moving some stuff around. I don't know. And then I'm also waiting. I got some stuff that I'm trying to sell on eBay to get some extra funds together to buy my new safe. So I don't know, man. It's going to take probably another week or 2.
Well, I can tell you this. I've got a bathroom project on the other side of that wall that I didn't know was a project, but apparently it's been a project for 10 years and nothing's been addressed about it. So I'm fixing to have a nice stand-up shower in there where that tub is, and I don't know what I'm doing either because I'm not a plumber. I work on cars and trucks and SUVs and all that stuff. I rebuild engines and transmissions.
I'll tell you this.
I'm not a carpenter. There's a set of skills there that you have to have.
See, I absolutely agree with the carpenter. There's a set of skills you have to have because you don't know how to hide stuff, right? That's the skills. Now, plumber, on the other hand, my experience with plumbers has not been great. As a mechanic, I worked building maintenance for a while with plumbers, and I'm like, ooh, you guys are all
plumbers have to have their stuff too, because if they don't hide it, it's really apparent.
Yeah, that's true.
It's how good are you at hiding it that determines your level of plumber.
Yeah, I think it's the same way with carpenters. My brother's a carpenter, he's a framer, and he was trying to give me hints and tell me what to do, and I don't know. So,
man, I got a buddy, and me and him were actually working at my old house building a fence, and he would sit there and drive nails with the nail pulling side of the hammer because it fit better. I was like, what?
Nice.
He goes, you're not a carpenter. Don't worry about it.
Well, they make this stuff called 3-inch caulk.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot. This is really cool.
Well,
We'll go on mission trips with my church. I'm not a plumber either, but somehow I still get stuck with it. And we were somewhere in Louisiana, Walker, I think, and we did a church. I hung like, I don't know how many urinals and toilets and sinks and all that week, man. And when we started, I thought, there's no way I'm going to get all this done. But we finished up at lunch on Friday, just like clockwork. But back to guns, which is what we're here to talk about. By the way, about your reloading bench, a 6x6 beam right down the center of it will take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just worried about because I'm gluing different pieces together, one, and I was worried it would just get that natural kind of where it doesn't sit flat and it. But it's going together. Tim, hey, how you doing, brother? Willie, hi. Glad you could come out with us. Just try to add me to the Hangout call again or on Hangouts. All right, let me see if I can get this done. See if I can get a Mooser on.
Yeah, Willie, you're in the middle of doing all kinds of stuff too. You're moving into the garage. Yeah, you got a lot of work in store for you, sir. I do not envy you, but it's kind of fun because then you can. Well, I don't need this, and I need this.
I might have got it figured out, guys.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
How's it going, brother?
Not bad. How you guys doing? I might have got it figured out, guys.
Hey. Okay, turn off the other apparatus.
Yeah, I got. Calm down.
Oh man.
Yeah, what I do is I run my iPad over here on mute so I can watch the chat and just use the camera that I'm talking into for the audio, man. And it works good, but you're a couple of seconds behind, but doesn't matter. It takes me longer than that to type it, so.
Yeah, I'm good. I got it figured out. We got it working. Are you getting feedback from my microphone?
No, man.
You talking?
You're great. You're golden.
Good deal. I'm gonna go ahead and take my headset off, then not even deal with that crap.
Dude, the gnats were thick today. Trying to work. Oh my god. It's not even June.
Dude,
right. It was warm. It was warm. I'll give you that. You got Full Ed Taco and Uncle Jim talking about it being cold and snowy and all that. Man, it's 85 degrees down here with 90% humidity. It was kind of uncomfortable.
It was 90 something, I think, today.
Did it break 90? I didn't know if it broke 90.
It did down here, but you know.
Probably not up here. Yeah, we're on opposite ends.
Yeah, 4 hours or so away.
Yeah, it broke 90 here. I had the kid home sick today. He's got strep, so I was home with him today while Mama was at work, and I did laundry all day, so I stayed out of it.
That's a good plan. So we were going to talk a little bit about milsurps tonight. Jamie, what'd you bring in? I see something leaning against the wall.
That's for later.
Oh, my fault.
Hey, I think introductions are in order.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm JH586. We need to say hey to a Mooser. He's joining us for the first time this week. Man, I subbed to your channel, and I'm going to be catching up on your videos, so I got a lot of work to do.
It's all good, Jamie. It's nice to meet you, brother. I'm
Nice
Rob.
to meet you.
So do we call you Rob or a Mooser?
Basically, like everything I do online, be it gaming or playing around or forums, whatever, like I've always been a moo or a mooser. So it doesn't really matter. I'll respond to either one. So it's really just up to you, whatever y'all want to do.
Either way, nice to have you aboard, brother. I'm Kyle.
Appreciate it, man. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Nathan and hey Rob, we gotta get together and do some shooting or something.
Yeah, for sure. Especially considering, you know, I've got the private range thing going on. So
Yeah.
Me and Jamie want to play.
Yeah.
drive your asses down here, down 75. It ain't that far.
Give me an exit number.
Yeah, it's like
62.
4 hours, man. It's a long way down there. Then it's gonna be an extra half an hour or so to go head over to Nashville.
Yeah, I'm about 25 minutes east of the highway. I'm definitely well out in the middle of nowhere where I want to be.
Wait a minute. Who's in Nashville?
Rob?
Yeah, I'm outside Nashville.
Oh, okay. So, well, I need to make a little stint up 24 or 75, and then a long stint out 24.
No. Nashville, Georgia.
Yeah, wrong
There's
Nashville,
a
brother.
Nashville, Georgia?
Yeah, we got one of those.
Oh, Lord.
I realize you're up there in the Yankee part of the state, and you don't realize that the whole rest of us down here
Whoa.
exists.
All right, yeah, kudos. Gotcha.
Fantastic.
I hope this is going to work out.
What do you got there, Jamie? What do you got?
This is my Yugo 2447. I don't know if you can see the crest. Can you see the crest?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But it's rough. You see, it's kind of in rough shape. But I got it really at a really good deal. Shoots 8mm Mauser bullets. So it's basically a K98 that the Yugos made instead of the Germans. But I got it, and it was covered with cosmoline. So it's come a long way, but still got to get out and shoot it more.
I was going to ask you, how much have you shot it, and does it shoot real good?
I don't know. Most of them do, though. But,
Well, yeah, 8mm Mausers are fairly accurate just out of the box. Even a Walmart version are pretty dang good.
Well, you can see it's got some. You see those black stains from cosmoline, I guess, and where it was packed all up in there.
Yeah. One of my SKSs has got that too because it was built a long time ago and never fired and just sitting there in it. Yeah.
Well, if I understand correctly, these were built in 1924 and then re-arsenaled in 1947 after the war.
Right. Sounds right. But let me tell you, if you get it hot enough, that stuff will come out of that wood. With it being a bolt gun, I don't know if you'll be able to fire it quick enough to get it hot enough.
No.
Because there's some steel in that thing.
Well, what I've heard of some people doing is taking it and separating the barrel from the stock and putting the stock in a black trash bag and putting it in the back of the car window up there and just let it cook for about a week, and then take it out and clean it, and then do it some more, and eventually it all comes out. But I don't know that you'll ever get those stains out. But about milsurps, guys, don't y'all wish they could talk?
Yeah.
Right.
Wouldn't you just love to hear the stories that these old guns could tell you?
Yeah.
They have this aroma.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
It's the cosmoline. It never comes out, but
yeah, I've got an 8mm Mauser myself, and you're talking about this about the way they shoot. Mine, I think mine has muzzle damage of some kind, some erosion or something, because it has an interesting habit of, like, it'll shoot the first 4 all over the place. Then you shoot another set of 4, pretty much so all over the place, and then the third set it'll shoot about 1.5 inches, and then the 4th set 1.5 inches, then the 5th back to all over the place, and it does that almost on clockwork, no matter what.
that's wild, man.
Yeah, I've never run into something that does that before, and I don't know. Like I said, I just need to get get it remuzzled. I think that's going to fix it eventually. But it's a beautiful gun. It's not what I have. I brought something else, but
Do you think it's actually been shot enough to burn the throat out and all that? I mean, have you shot it that much?
It's not that I've shot it that much, Kyle. It's just I can tell. Like you can look into the muzzle and see that there's a fair amount of muzzle erosion. It's partially going to be due to shooting corrosive ammo in it at some point, even if it was clean.
I mean, that's what was available in the 8mm area for a long time. That's all you could get.
The thing that kills
I was just making sure that it wasn't full of copper and, you know, just run the chemicals through there and sit back and wait a minute and then clean your gun and see how it shoots. Because my 308, it took me a long time to achieve the copper equilibrium where I could start shooting consistent groups and stack them.
Yeah.
Then about 250 to 300 rounds after that, everything started opening up, and then it just started getting stupid. So I run a bore scope up through it because I happen to have a couple, and I was like, "Oh, good Lord," because I don't clean my 308. I don't clean it at all. I shoot it. That's it. I put it in the gun safe. We're done. Then I take it out and shoot it, and we're done. Once the accuracy goes away, now it's time to clean it. You clean it really good, but then you got to go out and fire 100 fouling shots through it to get it back to where you can drive them through the same nail at 500 yards, you know. And it takes a minute. It burns a lot of bullets, but I really enjoy that type of shooting.
Yeah, mine goes kind of both ways with that. I tend to have a habit of wanting to keep them pretty clean, and used to it just being that way.
What I really like is these heavy-duty barrel bands on the end of them.
They look great.
Yeah, that's nice.
They're all the blue's all gone. I mean, it just looks like a John Wayne one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I like this old thing, man. I wished I could shoot it more. And
I've actually got a buddy at work that wants me to start reloading 8mm Mauser for him. He brought me the bolt. He was taking it apart and did something wrong, and then he couldn't figure out how to get it back together. And I was like, just bring me everything and I'll handle it. I mean, the spring's over here. And so I took it and reassembled it. And I said, here, don't turn this safety anyway. Put it in the gun. And it'll go right in. He come to me the next day. He goes, you're right. Went right in.
Do we need to have a talk about safeties?
Do what?
Do we need to have a talk about safeties?
Well, I needed to have one with him with the bolt out of the gun. Don't mess with the safety.
Yeah, that's how it comes apart, right?
Right.
So, Nathan, what you got?
Oh, I got something similar but different. What I have here, let me see if I can get it in, is a Spanish FR8. So it's a Mauser, a lot like yours, being it's a large ring Mauser, but it's a little bit different of a configuration.
Yeah.
They came in that there was an FR7 that was a small ring Mauser, then there was the FR8, which is a large ring, and it's chambered in 7.62 by 51, so it's a 308. And it was done for the Spanish military. They were switching over to set-me rifles, but they didn't have enough. So they took some old Mausers and rechambered them and fit them with muzzle flash and a little cleaning kit tube and just some different stuff. And it's a neat little rifle. And it was in pretty good shape when we got it a long while ago. But it was kind of funny because this was actually my mom's, and she had took and stripped the stock and everything, and then it sat like that for 15 years, something like that. And then I did some horse trading and got it and finished it with some boiled linseed oil, which took forever. And now it's like my little toy. But yeah, it's just the only 308 I have. So
I don't even have a 308. So there you go. Georgia Boy said he wants a 1891 Argentine Cavalry Mauser carbine. Argentine.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Is that the 7mm version?
Argentines are almost all large ring 8mm, I think.
Okay. All right.
The metalwork, the metallurgy on those is amazing. My dad has one. There's no bluing on the receiver or anything. Never has been. It's just in the white. No rust. Never. It's just amazing. And it's the slickest gun. Like the actual bolt work and stuff like that is just amazingly finished. They're great.
I got to say hey to my son Jay's out there watching us tonight.
I was about to say he's giving you props, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad he joined us, and he's got a buddy Cody over there with him tonight. So Jay's a semi-gun guy. I think his buddy Cody's more of a gun guy than he is, though. But hey to both of you guys, and thanks for coming to join us. And this is Georgia boy missed us last week. I'm glad he's here this week.
Yeah, you got a new phone, I think. He had a phone washing problem. I've done that before, and it always ends the same way.
So, a Mooser, wake up over there. Share something with us, guy.
Hold on, I'm working on uploading different pictures on my profile so I can talk about this thing. So y'all go ahead and let me get this thing uploaded.
Fair enough.
Well, I got one more. You want to see it?
Sure. I'm always up for.
Hell yeah.
These are the only two mill
It's
starts.
Gorn time.
Do what?
I said it's Gorn time.
Oh, I got another one. I got the one you asked for last night. It's around here somewhere. This is a what do y'all think it is? Oh, I was looking at the chat a while ago. Willie Bullet Man said I was looking good. We need to pitch in and buy him some glasses. I'm glad he's here.
Hey, Willie, if you still rolling around down here, man, I've been trying. I've got it separated mostly, but I don't have enough to fill that big old box up. Because if it fits, it ships, and I want to make sure that you can get enough. So I've just been real busy with the kids and everything. Been a crazy week, man. It's been crazy. So I still got you, man. I got you.
So does anybody know what this is?
Is that a bolt action SKS?
No, close. Very close.
I was looking at the rear sights. I'm like, what?
Nathan's grinning. He knows what it is.
No, I said, that's a fin, isn't it?
It is. M39 finish.
Yeah.
Mosin Nagant. Shoots 7.62 by 54R. And they stomp, man. They absolutely stomp.
I bet.
This one, I've redone the stock on this one. It's pretty and shiny. I use True Oil on it.
How do you like that?
I hate it.
Okay.
The True Oil on the gun.
Oh, which were you asking about?
I was talking about the True Oil because I've never used it. I've always used the bullet linseed for a mill cert.
Well, you see how it puts a shine on the. That shouldn't be on a mill cert rifle, in my humble opinion. So I'm thinking of taking this one back down, but it's got the crest on it. I don't know if y'all can see the.
Oh, that's pretty.
Nice.
This is a Seiko manufacturer. Are y'all familiar with Seiko rifles at all?
No.
Yep.
They're made in Finland, and they're associated with Beretta, or used to be. And I own a Seiko AV5 and 270 Winchester. It's the most accurate shooting rifle I own.
They're known for spending a lot of extra time on their barrels and actions, and the rest of the gun can be just a 2x4, and a paper clip for a trigger spring, but the barrel and action is solid. Seiko's known for that. Kind of like Daniel Defense here in America and all that. People are fighting to get barrels out of that factory so they can put them on their guns.
Yeah.
It's all in the process of how they make it. They actually spend time when they make it.
Yeah. And Willie, I do have a cool mom. I'm assuming that was directed towards me. I agree.
Uncle Jim has a Seiko.
Didn't Seiko and Tika have some kind of? I know they're all part of Beretta-ish. I don't know much about.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, but it seems like it. Maybe Uncle Jim knows. And Ozark Highland said he loves True Oil because of the sheen. And I agree. I don't have a problem with the sheen. As a matter of fact, I feel like it'll help with if you get caught out in the rain. But on a mill cert, I think if I get to where I can't stand the shiny finish anymore, I'll strip it down and do it with boiled linseed oil.
Yeah,
And I know
it's not the look you were looking for.
No, it's not.
Right.
But it's beautiful. But it don't look like
beautiful gun.
Don't look like a milsurp. And the Finns redid these. The only part of this that's actually a Mosin Nagant is the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They do a special 2-stage trigger on their Mosins. They rework the magazines completely, and of course they put a new barrel in it. And this is a 1942 production, I think. No, 41. No, 1944. I got my glasses on and I still can't read.
Georgia Boy says that Seiko, Tika, and Brett are together, and JCM says he has a Brazilian Mauser that he took apart 30 years ago and never put back together. I recommend doing so. Something kind of interesting. I've always really enjoyed milsurps. I think because I grew up around them, where maybe some other guys grew up around different kinds of guns. I think that influences what you like. But my dad had a big milsurp collection growing up, and I grew up all around them. And my first gun was a 303 Brit. I mean, so I've always been partial to them, and I've always been really partial to the Mausers. And maybe it's just because of German lineage. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way they're made. But I really recommend kind of throwing that back together. You know, it's probably not hurting any.
JCM, you could box them parts up and send them to me. I'll do something with them. My Moser's guys got a picture up. Tell us about this.
So I don't really do the whole milsurp thing. What I do is I actually really enjoy old Marlin firearms, and I enjoy almost all Marlin firearms except for the ones that are not Marlins anymore that are made now. So everybody that's probably hunted anywhere in Georgia is hunted with a lever action 30-30. But this is actually a Marlin Model A1 that I picked up. It is from the pre-war era, so it's there's really no markings on it, and the only thing that distinguishes it, making it an actual A1, is on the barrel. It actually says 22 long rifle, smokeless grease powder only. And that's really the only way to even date the gun itself. And the only way to date it, and basically what that tells you is it's from between 36 and 40. But
I was gonna say that's pretty old right there for them to stamp that right in the barrel.
Yeah, and if you look at the what drew me to it is I walked in the pawn shop. You know, I was just kind of putzing around and looking to see what all was what, and I saw this sling, and I was like, that is an old sling, and it didn't really get a real good picture of it, but you can definitely see the age on it. And then I looked at the magazine, and I was like, that looks like a Marlin magazine. And I picked it up and started looking at it, and sure enough, and I was like, well, I hadn't seen one of these before. So, you know, I hit Google real quick on my phone and saw what it was, and I think I gave $1.50 for it or something like that, and the guy was happy with it, and I was happy with it. So,
are you serious?
I mean, 150 is what I was saying. I gave $1.50 for it.
I was about to say, holy crap! But even at 150, that's a hell of a bargain.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I've taken it out and shot it once, because I'll probably clean it up and do all that stuff. But I've taken it out and shot it once. It'll shoot dimes at 50 yards, just all day long.
Nice.
I'm a big.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm definitely a big fan of the older Marlin. So even though I don't really get into the whole milsurp thing, I do appreciate them. But I really like my old Marlins, and I've got quite a few that I'm working on cleaning up and whatnot.
When my grandfather was over in France back in 1946, 44, he purchased a Belgian-made Browning 22 automatic. I actually have that, and it is the most amazingly accurate iron sight 22 I've ever shot. And the thing is knocking on, 70, 80 years old. And it's a two-piece breakdown. So Ruger came out with their whole new, we can break ours down. And Browning's like, we've been doing that for 100 years.
Yeah. There's a ton of those old 22. Like they used a lot of 22s as training guns,
Right.
You know, they size them down and whatnot, but there's quite a few, and in fact, there's one that's been sitting in the pawn shop for got to be going on 6 months. If the damn thing wasn't made in France, I'd have bought it by now. But I mean,
Well,
it's
this is from the Browning factory in Belgium, and I've checked all the numbers. I've actually taken the gun apart because there's hidden numbers, and it was made in 1945, I think, and it's got a really low serial number. So he
Nice.
happened to be in the right place at the right time and brought it back with him when he came home from World War II. And that's the gun that my father squirrel hunted with when he grew up. It's what I squirrel hunted with when I grew up. It's just a piece of firearm history. I can't say American history because it's not, but we've almost turned it into that, you know. So
So a
but-
Mooser.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. A Mooser. Don't be afraid to buy anything French, especially their Milsurp rifles. Think about it, man. They've never been shot and they've only been dropped once.
yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful looking gun. Don't get me wrong, but if it was made anywhere other than in France, I probably would have given up my hard-earned dollars to pick it up because it is absolutely pristine. I mean, like you said, it doesn't even look like it's been shot. I know what you're referring to, but
Nah, the French resistance was pretty powerful back during the war. So,
Rob, I got a question for you. I've got a 78 model 336 that somebody has refinished before me, stock-wise, and it's just it's really gaudy. What do you know? What would be the best thing to use? Because I think that like linseed oil would be too. It won't be right. But I don't know what. I just don't know what finish to use on it. 'Cause somebody's used something really glossy and it's terrible.
let me see. Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me look and see. I've got something. Let me see what it is. I don't think it's linseed oil. Let me see what it is. Give me a second.
Yeah,
that's the thing
Nathan,
about the boiled linseed oil is that the more coats you put on there, the more shiny and more luster it gets.
Yeah, but who has that kind of time, man? I put 4 months
Yeah.
into that Mauser over there and got maybe 10, 15 coats on it. It's just it takes so long to dry before you can cut it.
Yeah, I mean, what Jamie was saying, it depends partly on how far you take it down. Like if you take it all the way down to bare stock and refinish it and then go with linseed oil back over top of it, you would it probably wouldn't take you near as long as like you're talking about with that Mauser, to where you'd be able to build up a dull finish that is more what you're looking for. And even if you maybe wet sanded it even with not quite like a 1500 grit, but maybe I don't know, put 1 or 2 coats on and try wet sanding it with like maybe 1000 grit or something like that and see if that kind of the finish you're looking for. I mean, can't really hurt it, especially if it's already beat up to begin with.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Cut it with wet sanded for a little bit and then maybe put some Troil or something like that in, and then
Wipe it down.
triple-aught stock, triple-aught steel wool in. I don't know.
let me propose something to you. Did somebody put some shellac on it, like Minwax,
Yeah, I
high
think so.
gloss floor stain or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. I think
that's what they did. Okay, sand that stuff down with like 2000 grit sandpaper. Cut the sheen off of it. Okay, get it back down to wood, but you're not taking wood off. Use automatic transmission fluid. I'm not kidding you.
Use what?
It will,
ATF?
yeah, it will not turn it red, but it will suck into that wood. And I've done it on a couple of old single shot 12 gauges that my grandfather had, and they're beautiful. Problem is, they're not here. They're at my dad's house, or else I'd show you.
Yeah.
What I used on that M39 was I used a citrus stripper, just like you buy at a paint store, and just wiped it on there, let it sit, and then just wiped it off. And I had to do that a couple of times to try to get all that cosmoline out of it, as you can well imagine. And then I sanded and sanded and sanded and sanded, and then I put the true oil on it. And the true oil, you just rub it on with your hands. But the trick with the boiled linseed oil, if I understand this right, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but when you get down to where you're almost ready to like do the step that you would use the true oil, you take the boiled linseed oil with that really fine sandpaper and work it in there together. So what you're actually doing is you're taking that fine sandpaper and that oil and you're using it together to plug the pores up in the wood. Then once you get those pores plugged up in the wood, then it just really takes off and goes.
Yeah,
You can
that's
see that on a YouTube video.
You know, I'd almost consider doing that same exact thing, except for you using some quad ot rather than using sandpaper. I wonder if that might spread it out a little bit better.
yeah. I used stainless or steel wool as well. That's how I did it as well.
And you don't wipe the very fine sawdust. You don't wipe that off. You use that with that oil and that sandpaper and work that down into the pores of that wood.
Looks like Eagle Eye had to change a timing belt on a Tundra today instead of going and doing load testing. Sorry to hear that, brother. I know how it doesn't sound like the most fun job to have to do when you got something better that you want to, or more fun you want to do.
I got a question for Uncle Jim. What were you calling tent poles, man? Ducking for cover. I think he was talking about our Milsurp rifles, using them for tent poles.
Yeah, one of the other things you're talking about stripping rifles.
Yeah.
We used to use oven cleaner quite a bit. Use oven cleaner and then sit it next to a heater and let it heat up, and then it would pull the cosmoline and everything else out of there. But there is a habit. You really need to clean them really well afterwards because it can really screw up your finish if you got any of it left in the wood.
Yeah, that's what Uncle Jim just put that on there.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Yep. Man, come on. Not paying attention.
No, man, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that grip heat that Eagle Eye made with that 30-06 looked like something. That was really nice. Looks like you're really kind of narrowing it down for sure.
Oh yeah, that was a good video. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Hey Kenny,
I enjoyed that.
how many times did you say, "Where's that damn 10mm socket" when you were changing that timing belt?
Oh, good Lord.
I'm sorry, I've done a few. How about that tensioner? That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to mess with that kind of crap.
I got out the new stuff happen, man. I'm running a business here. It's called a house with 2 teenage kids.
And I got out a new vehicle maintenance back in the late 90s. Like, I don't, nope. Don't mess with it.
If anybody out there has put a water pump on a PT Cruiser, then you have the right to talk to a mechanic. Warranty pays 8 hours to do that.
Don't you have to pull the motor?
Well, no, you don't have to, but it'd probably be easier if you did.
I got something belongs to you, Kyle.
Oh no! Hey, there it is.
Yeah, man.
Because he's certainly a little unique.
Do what?
Oh, thanks, Nate.
And
he said, because I'm certainly unique.
Yeah. We all are in our own way. And one thing I want to say to Willie Bullet Man, dude, I know you're going through some changes, moving your reloading room out to the garage, but you're going to look back on this, brother. You had the opportunity to help out your pa-in-law, and you're never going to be sorry. You'll never be sorry for helping anybody when you have the opportunity. And if my son's still listening, he'll tell you I've been preaching that to him since he was a little boy. But Archer's friend commented on my video about the 35 Remington on load 1. He recommended this powder.
Huh.
He said he's got better groups with that than with 4064, or I forget what the other one he said, but he said he gets better groups with the 4831 than 4064. So we got quite a few. And a Moser, just to catch you up, I've got 2 Marlins, I have a 336 and 3030 Winchesters made in 1974, and a 336 and 35 Remington that was made in 1980. So
that's basically exactly what I've got, except for mine were both made in the '80s. But my 35 Remington is basically the only lever gun that I even bother to do anything with anymore, just because I've got so much other stuff to shoot now at this point that my 30-30 just doesn't see a whole lot of love. In fact, my 35, I've actually taken the scope off of it completely, and I just straight up use it as a brush gun down here. I mean, it's fantastic for that, and you're really not going to find anything. I like shooting a lot of the AR stuff, and you're not going to find really anything in AR that's going to perform like the 35 does. I mean, it's just a fantastic caliber for that kind of stuff.
It's like shooting a plug nut downrange.
Yeah. Well, I'm just starting a series of load development for the 35 Remington, so we'll have to get you to contribute on that.
Hey, Amuser, did you see me shooting my chronograph?
No, I had not. I thought I heard there was a picture floating around somewhere, but I hadn't quite seen it yet.
I'm sure there's a lot of pictures floating around by now, but yeah, Jamie's got the only video evidence of it. But it actually made me feel a lot better that I'm not the only one, because I didn't realize that damn near everybody that's had a chronograph has shot it.
Well, yeah, they have, but I didn't know exactly when chronograph season started and when it's going to end. Because like 30 people this past couple weeks at Pop Bears, so
man,
maybe it's a spring thing.
Those loads that I loaded up, these taco loads. Hang on, I can't see what I'm doing. These taco loads. Matter of fact, yeah, that's one of them. I loaded those up with 4227. And I just loaded some at 17 grains, 18 grains, 19 grains, and 20 grains, just to see what was going on. And I pulled the trigger on the 17. I was like, wow, that hurt. I pulled the trigger on the 19. I was like, well, that's just stupid. I pulled the trigger on the 20, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And then Jamie handed me that factory box, and I put one in there, and I was just a little gun shy girl, I guess. And I just shot the hell out of my chronograph.
I tell you what, though, I think Jamie's reaction, his face not changing at all, and he just looks at you and says, "I got an air." I about fell out. I died.
Oh, dude, I lost it. My shoulders dropped and everything. And he looked at me and goes, "I got an air." I'm like, "I bet you did."
Well, if you look at my photo,
Jamie, God Almighty,
if you look at my photo, you can see. I think you're squinting eyes right as it's actually being blown off the pedestal right there.
I know. Good job photoshopping and cropping and everything else. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I can't
OP says it's a lottery in chronographs down in Louisiana. How many tags do you get for that lottery when you win? Just one, I guess.
Oh man!
And my dad posted on there about a Steyr. Yeah, I think I made a pretty good trade on my Steyr. So.
Okay, so Kenny, old Eagle Eye, is making me a target especially for me. I can't wait to see it. Hang on. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, you'll certainly shoot it.
I want to talk to Georgia boy right here for a minute. He's got up here, he likes pre-64 Winchesters and pre-safety Marlins. Why do we need a safety on a lever action rifle?
Don't do it.
Am I going to have to get mine out? A Mooser can tell you, you can't fire them. They're 2-piece firing pins. You've got to close the lever all the way up before it's going to go off. Then you got to have the hammer cocked all the way back. It's got what they call half cock on there. Y'all have heard that saying, it went off half cocked. Well, it don't. That's what I'm telling you. Why do we have to have a hammer block safety on a lever action rifle?
Why do I have to push my brake in before I start my car? I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to preposizione de pee? Whatever it says.
I've got a 1977 C10 Chevy pickup truck that the clutch has to be mashed all the way in before it'll start.
That's funny. I used to have a Willis that's how you started the truck.
when I'm riding my motorcycle, if it's in gear, any gear, and I put the kickstand down, the engine shuts off.
That's insane.
All right, let me preface what I was saying to Jamie about don't you dare. Jamie, if you want to tell him, that's fine. Just say I'll do it, or I'll tell him. I know where you were coming at with that statement about the block safety.
No, I just wanted to hear what Georgia boy had to say about it. But you go ahead.
What's he got? Where's he at?
Wasn't the chat? I think he's still here. Yeah, he was here not too long ago about the.
Well, here's what happened. We were shooting 35 Remingtons, test loads, and Jamie said, "Hey, you want to shoot them through your rifle?" I'm like, "Sure." And I haven't shot this rifle. I haven't even handled this rifle. I pulled the scope off of it and use it for iron sights, just like a Mooser saying, just like Rob's saying, because, you're in Georgia. Pretty much the best shot you're going to get, unless you're poaching, is 75 to 100 yards. So I pulled the scope off of it, and the sights are in line and all that. I was shooting Jamie's 35, which is a little older than mine. I was shooting my Henry, and then I grabbed my older Remington that apparently is not that old. Well, I mean, it's 25 years old, 30 years old, whatever. And I put a round in the chamber, squeeze the trigger, nothing happens. The hell? So I hand it around to Jamie. I'm like, "You want to look at this?" And he looks at it and goes, "I don't know what happened." And we were of the opinion that, hey, you haven't touched the gun in 20 years. Your firing pin's still stuck up there in the bolt. Okay. I was like, "I'll give you that. It's been 20 years since I've touched it." So I start taking this thing apart, clean it, and going to edge red it and all that. And actually, my girlfriend was sitting here, and I just started laughing. And she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I had to call Jamie right then and there. You know what was wrong with it?
Safety zone?
Cross block safety.
Yeah. Safety was on. I'm telling you, man, me and Jamie had a lot of fun that day.
Sounds like you did.
Too much
have the
fun.
cross block safety. My Henry doesn't have a cross block safety. I hadn't messed with a gun in 20, 25 years. Hadn't even picked it up other than to put it in the gun safe. And
I'm just curious what you had in the cooler other than water.
No, I didn't even have a cooler. That's the funny part. That's why I had to call Jamie. I'm like, "You ain't gonna believe this." But yeah, because my Henry doesn't have one. And Jamie's Marlin doesn't have one. I wasn't looking for one, And I was like, "Man, something's going on with this gun. I'm just not going to shoot anymore. I'm not going to attempt to fire this gun any longer because something's going on." What was going on was California got involved.
All you got to say is lawyers.
That you're talking about Marlin and Henry in the same vein right now, because I'm really hoping that as Remington goes through this bankruptcy thing of theirs that they've got going on, I am just praying that they sell off Marlin and that Henry picks it up, because I would be elated to be able to buy a Henry-made Marlin.
I would be standing on top of the stagecoach with a bullwhip going, "Woo!" Because that would be fun.
Yeah,
hey, if that happened,
I would have a lot of new guns.
If that happened, do you think Henry would put a loading gate on their rifles like Marlin does?
I tell you what, I bet they probably wouldn't change them too much. It would really surprise me because, Henry's had the unique styled handle. And I think to keep the two brands separate, I think they would probably stick more to the 336 design more than anything and just kind of leave it and let it do its own thing, but just not be made like crap like they currently are.
It's totally a successful design. You know, I like the side load and all that. I was really weird with the Henry because now I think I'm shooting a 22. I'm like, what the hell? And then I put, you know, mortars in it. So it's kind of weird, and I'm just not familiar with it. I've only put about 60 rounds through it. That's my first. Well, actually, that's my second. It's my second Henry, but it's my first Henry lever action rifle. And there's just things are different, and you got to adjust to that. But man, that thing's a damn blast to shoot, man. It's really fun.
I'm probably the only redneck in all of Georgia that doesn't own a Henry rifle, and it's that damn loading tube, and that's exactly why. I mean, I'm like, why would I want to stop and do that when I could just plop them in the side of my old 336s and go?
Yeah. But man, that thing's fun, and you can ask Jamie. It's surprisingly accurate if you're shooting the same ammunition through it. I was shooting some pretty good groups when we were at that indoor range, and
yeah,
I never
but it's not broke in good yet either, Kyle. Wait till it gets broke in.
Right. I gotta run about 100 rounds of 44 Magnum through it, or 44 Special, or something. I got to get the barrel dirty before it'll get clean. You know, that's where it was.
And Georgia Boy says that he won't have the Henry because that tube is a deal breaker for him. So he shoots Rossi and Marlins.
Well, my only beef with the Henry, it's not the tube. I mean, whatever, tube or a side loading gate don't matter that much. It's the feeding, man. It's such a tight feed tolerance on bullet length. It's really limiting on what it is that you can load in it.
I had to play with this round, Nathan, to determine my overall length where it would feed, because Jamie can tell you we were at the 25-yard range and they wouldn't feed. And he's like, well, just feed them single shot. I'm like, no, why would I do that? I either want something that'll feed in the gun, or I'm not going to use the gun. You know, I'm not going to single shot load it every time. But I found my overall length. It's well within specs. The pressures were starting to get stupid, so I quit shooting my hand loads. I still got to break down a couple of bullets, but that's okay. I can reuse everything. So,
yeah, I think it's just too tight, and I think, you know, for a lever gun, you got to have a little bit more leeway in your tolerances. There's too many different bullet designs. Not everybody's shooting a cowboy style or whatever, so that's what bothers me about it. And other rifles like the Rossi don't seem to have that issue. That's my one beef. And Willie, that's how I ended up with my K31. My dad said something earlier about a Steyr, and that was part of the swap for my K31, which, by the way, I can't wait to take to the range with you guys sometime, because it's pretty insane as far as a, you know, regular iron sight milsurp. It shoots pretty well. Even though the last time we shot it, we pulled bullets out with like a pair of dikes and slopped some stuff together. I don't even know what the load was, and it went out and shot like 3/4 of an inch. So maybe it'll shoot like crap with decently loaded ammo. I don't know.
So Kyle and I were having this conversation earlier this week. Somehow the subject got onto shooting chronographs somehow or another.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
And Willie was saying that Fortune Cookie shoots his, and then Kenny says, I see folks test 12-gauge slugs, and the wads always break their chronos. Ha ha ha. Okay, so Fortune Cookie shot his and claimed it was a sabot off of a slug that broke his chrono. How many of you guys out there are buying that?
Nope.
I really felt like Achilles' heel when that happened. And then once I put my video up and everybody said, yep, happened to me. Yep, happened to me. Yep, happened to me. And then the crazy Scotsman said, hey, call Caldwell. They'll send you the parts for free. I haven't done that yet. I'm still trying to figure out a way to use fiberglass and powder coat and welding and everything else, put it back together.
Hey, real quick, Kyle. I think Georgia Boy's fixing to take off. Georgia Boy, hopefully we can catch you next. Probably not next week. I know I'll be out next week. I think Bacon's doing his chat next week, but maybe the next week you can get in with us. Have a good night, brother.
Yeah, I'll be gone next weekend, so maybe he can take my place.
Well, Jamie, I think what I'm going to do, I don't know if Kyle's how he thinks about this, but I mean, I think we're going to be stomping over top of each other. I'll just defer to the Reloaders Network.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baby's going to be at mom and dad's next weekend, Friday night till they come over on Sunday. So I definitely am going to be able to find better things to do than any type of live chat next week, regardless. So
absolutely. I hear you there, man. So Mooser, with your 6.5 Grundle, you're planning on hunting with that. What's and you said your yardage is about the 250. What kind of penetration do you think you're going to get? You going to shoot through them, do you think, or are you going to be able to stay kind
of? I want to kind of keep under wraps a little bit about as far as how I'm going to test this. If I can't get complete penetration, I'm going to be relatively disappointed because, I mean, that bullet is still going to be moving at, what did I say? Looking at the numbers, I think I looked at it earlier. Hold on, let me pull up. I think it's still moving at like 21 or 2,200 feet per second when it gets there. Mm-hmm. So it still should be moving well enough that,
and you're 250? 250 yards?
250.
What weight?
It's the 123 grain SST.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see whether it'll make it or not. Let me freaking.
That's going to be a very interesting load because the SST is known for extreme rapid expansion, and you're shooting it at a lower velocity, but it's still enough to make it happen.
Well, and that's the thing because velocity threshold. Straight from Hornady's little, you got to actually watch their video to get it, and it says 1850. I know that's come up some from what they had published a few years ago. You know, I think that originally started out. Yeah, I haven't looked in the book to see exactly where in the book it says it, but I know in their little video.
There's a bunch of secrets in this Bible right here.
I know it definitely is 1850, and let me pull up my Balixis calculator. In fact, I can share that screen with you guys. So let me just go ahead and do that. That'll be the
get you a chrono. I'll come over and shoot it.
No, I'm going to keep you away from the chrono. But looking here, what I'm at with 2438 average velocity, I'm looking at so they're 2,047 feet per second out to 250 yards, still delivering 1,143 foot-pounds of energy. So
why are you going that low velocity?
I don't have a choice. I mean, with the Grindle, you're hitting pressure. I mean, I was hitting pressure at 31 grains, and I'm down at 30.1 is where I'm at.
What's your barrel length?
16.
Got you.
And see, that's part of the thing. Like everything with the Grindle, all the hot loads, and even when you look, like looking through the Hornady manual, you look at the 123 SSTs and whatnot. I would pretty much have to go to a bullet that's outside of that 120 class to really get up closer to that like 2,600 muzzle velocity range, and I don't know if I really want to shoot a bullet that light. It may come down to that if I can't get the penetration I'm looking for. But
what's the point though? Your bullet's supposed to expand at that point. You got good velocity. You're going to get penetration into the deer at least, even if it stops. That should be sufficient for doing what you're wanting to do. So I don't know if shooting a lighter bullet faster would do anything.
Exactly, that's my point. Especially with doing a lot of hunting at night for farmers on crop permits and whatnot, it's definitely a little bit harder, in my opinion, to get a good shot off on a deer at night, just because you don't have as much time to set up and take your shot. You don't always see them and whatnot. So I picked up a thermal for this year, so it's going to be a little bit easier. But, as long as I can get into the vitals, get good expansion into the vitals, and if I get a vital style shot, I'm hoping for an exit. Whereas if I end up hitting a shoulder, I would not expect an exit, but I would expect, catastrophic damage to that shoulder. So
yeah, that's losing a quarter of the meat.
Right, which sucks, but it is what it is,
Yeah, so, doing what you're doing, the meat isn't exactly the point of it. It's a nice benefit, nice set.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is and it isn't, right? So, like if I was out hog eradicating and there were thousands of hogs, it would be one thing. With the deer, I could realistically go out there 4 or 5 times a night and shoot a 22 and they'd all run out of the field. So, that would in part kind of accomplish the same thing. But, I want to be able to cleanly kill them. And that's what I've been able to do with the 6.5 Creedmoor as well as the 270. But, really not wanting to have something as heavy as an AR-10 platform, stepping down to an AR-15 style platform and running with a 16-inch barrel. I really want to see if I can make this work. If not, I may look into a 6.8 SPC and putting one of those together. But I think I'm going to get the penetration that I need. And like I said, especially with the size of our deer down here, it's not like we're dealing with the, massive freaking, we've got dogs down here bigger than some of our deer. So.
Right. Yeah, it sounds to me like you're fixing to put some torture tests on a pork roast.
Something like that. It ought to be fun. Either way, it's coming up.
That's what I do. I mean, because I know where you're at, ish. No, don't know where Nashville, Georgia is, but I know it's south of here. Yeah, throw a pork butt on a tripod and shoot it.
No, I got something a little bit better than that. It's coming up. It's coming. I think video 6 is due to go live Monday, which will be the bullet seeding video. And then I've got that shot and edited and ready to go. And then the next video next Thursday will be the penetration test. So right
Sweet.
before we get off, we should have results for what that's going to do. And that works out well because peanuts just went in the ground behind the house 2 days ago.
Which means lots of green flowers in about a week.
Yeah, and they're just starting to sprout right across the street. So, I need to get my butt in gear and make sure I'm sighted in and ready to go. If not, I'm going to have to swap platforms real quick.
Yeah, I knew a good old boy down here who used to use 30 carbine for deer hunting, for doing a lot of the same stuff that you're doing. So I don't think you're going to be unmanned or unarmed. I think you're going to be fine. But it's going to be interesting because I don't think that's a round that a lot of people are looking at for this kind of purpose, and I think maybe it should be.
Well, and especially down here in Georgia, or even realistically, a lot of the parts of the Southeast where all we've got is the smaller whitetail. And even I know South Carolina's got some bigger whitetail, but whitetail in general, when you're dealing with deer that are under 250 pounds, there's no reason, especially once you get into the 150 yard range, there's no reason realistically to have to step up to an AR-10 style platform. When you can hammer them with a 6.5 Grendel all day long, and the only difference is a bolt and a magazine, and you could use the AR-15 magazines if you really wanted to, but
yeah,
right. So, yeah, I've done a lot of looking at the Creedmoor and the Grendel, and there's a lot of potential there, but it seems to me more of a target round than a hunting round.
The Creedmoor is, yeah, absolutely. I think the Grendel's has some application outside of that.
I'm kind of the opposite opinion of that. I think they both do, and this is kind of goes back to that conversation that I was having on Reloaders Network the other day. If we can get Hornady's got the SSTs for everything. There's a company out there, Cavity Back Bullets, that makes a solid copper bullet that I've seen, even though they're a little bit pricier. But if we can get some of these hunting rounds shooting well in these precision quote unquote rifles, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I can shoot at something with a half MOA gun, I'd rather shoot at it with a half MOA gun than a 1.5 MOA gun. So, I think if we can translate some of that over into the hunting world and use some of that accuracy potential to our benefit, then I think it could work out well. But I think they've both got a lot of potential.
Oh yeah, by all means. That's why they're making the cartridge, and now actually components of the cartridge are becoming more available, and that's awesome. The popularity of the cartridge is exploding, whether it's 6.5 Grendel or Creedmoor. The possibilities are almost endless.
Yeah, no.
How fast you want to push it, and what barrel length that you have, and how good your barrel is. I guarantee you, there's somebody out there buying a 28-inch barrel right now.
Well, and that's the other thing.
2,000 yards,
just grabbing my Hornady manual here. It they've got Grendel loads from 95 grains up to 130 grains.
Mhm.
And then when I push over here into the 6.5 Creedmoor section, you've got 6.5 Creedmoor loads from 95 grains all the way up to 160 grain interlock round nose. So I mean, there's quite a bit of
Well,
area to work
and
in there.
actually, you can go online to Hodgdon's website and you can get a lot more different bullet loads, and they do go a lot heavier because there's some people out there that are slinging lug nuts at targets.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really good, really great accuracy out of them.
Definitely. I mean, like I know I keep mentioning Hornady, they've got that buy anything from us this year, and we're going to send you a box of 129 grain interlock soft points. So, I mean, I'm going to end up with 4 or 5 boxes of those things just sitting around. So if I can get them shooting halfway decent out of my Creedmoor, for this field across the house, it's 563 across that field. So
that's golden, man.
Yeah, I've got some great area to take some long shots, and there's another field that's actually I can take shots out to almost 800 yards. So
you're still golden.
Yeah, and I'm still in there, which is what I think is great about the Creedmoor. If you do get into some longer range hunting areas, which like I said, we don't have a ton of here in the state, but for basically any range you want to hunt in, that 6.5 bullet between the Grendel and Creedmoor, I think is really a sweet spot. A lot of people aren't looking at yet, but I think over the next 5 years or so is really gonna pick up a lot of steam outside of just the competition shooters. I think there's going to be a lot of hunters.
It is a great round. It really, I mean, ballistically, everything, whatever you look at it, the 6.5 in either platform is a great round. I used to have a 25-06 that I bought to go elk hunting with in Colorado. And, I sighted it in and all that. I brought it back to Georgia and realized, hey, I got way too much gun. This is a 1,400 yard gun, 15, 18 if you're lucky, and I'm shooting 100 yards. So I got rid of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you taper everything towards what you're doing and just advance with that. So
yeah, but that's all the part of this load development and all this other stuff. And what makes all this, I guess, kind of interesting is JCM 45 had to leave, so I think I'm a little bit late, but see you later, boss. Is that we're able to start at the end game and then work our way backwards. We know what the result, what they were looking for, and then we can tailor everything to that result. And it's interesting because now, and this is where I'm starting to possibly look into the AR platform, is that you're able to tailor your barrel length, your twist rate, and all that stuff to your bullet and your cartridge and your powder capacity in a much easier way than you can or you could, back in the day. I mean, changing a barrel is not exactly an easy thing, but with AR it is, by and large. So I think that's kind of an interesting – we're in an interesting environment when it comes to that we haven't been in really in the past. We've had to rely on gunsmiths for a lot of the stuff that we can now do on a, crappy Harbor Freight bench vise on my living room. So,
even better about the AR platform is just the fact that you don't even have to change the barrel. You can pop 2 pins and change an upper, and you're ready to go with something completely different.
Right.
You can use the exact same lower
platform.
Yeah, you can use the exact same lower from everything from squirrels to deer hunting, to hog hunting and whatever.
Oh, you go to elephant hunting.
One gun.
You Beowulf on top of it.
Let me say something, if I can butt in here. The 6.5 Grendel, is that the same? What do you call it? Head stamp? Does that take the same bolt carrier group as the 223?
No, it actually is a little bit of a different bolt carrier group. It actually, so the first generation of Grendels, they were trying to use the same bolt as the 7.62x39, and they were having a lot of extraction issues and whatnot. So they actually had to hollow it out a little bit more, make it a little bit deeper. So it's a bolt change and a barrel change. And then if you want the consistent feeding from a specific, a magazine specifically tailored to it, then it's a magazine change as well. But like I said, if you've already got that bolt and carrier with that upper and that barrel ready to go,
pop that whole thing on and you're done.
Yeah, if you got to have a different bolt carrier group and a different barrel, you'd be better off to have the whole upper ready to go. But one thing, I don't feel comfortable shooting deer with a 223.
No, I agree with you there. I don't think 223 is enough, especially not. I mean, maybe if you start looking at, maybe 77 grain and you're within 40 yards or so, then I can see justification for possibly taking that shot. But I personally don't do it. But I know there are people that do, and it is what it is. But I'd like to have a little bit more behind it.
There.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
OP, the Harbor Freight bench vise, I have one I think just like it. Only mine's I think lived a pretty hard life, so it's pretty ugly at this point. That's why I was making fun of myself actually. But you got that inline fab plate. I'm changing over to some inline stuff. It's going to be a slow process. That stuff costs a lot of money for some reason. I don't understand why.
Yeah, but it sure is nice and easy. But I just don't have the $5,000 that I need. That's why I'm in the process of making quick change plates for my Lees and Dylan and all that stuff. There's going to be videos on it. I just hadn't had a chance to do it. Like I say, I've been really busy.
Yeah, it is interesting though what you're talking about the 223 as a hunting load. I know there's people that do it. I mean, there's people that shoot deer with a 22 mag. I mean, there's people that do all kinds of crap, whether or not it's right. But it is interesting because if you get your bullet weight similar to, let's say, a 25 cal, so 77, getting closer to, to that grain, and then if you get the speed where you're supposed to need, depending on barrel length and twist rate, I mean, it's just finding good bullets that are able to expand and do their job at that speed. I don't know.
I think that was supposed to be the appeal of the 224 Valkyries. You're supposed to be able to use those 77, 80, 90 grain bullets.
Yep.
Right.
Push them higher than we can push out of the 223. And I've not seen it so far. I mean, I think there's like 1 or 2 hunting videos out there from people who've gotten, pre-release guns and whatnot, but I've not seen enough out of that cartridge yet that I personally would rather take, a 100 grain, 110 grain bullet and shoot it out of something with bigger case capacity than a 223, 224 Valkyrie.
Jay, you're actually supposed to use one of those Swiss Army knives that you put on a keychain, not a machete for that job. Jumping out of the deer stand, that's how that's done. I don't know about chopping his head clean off though. That might be a little bit of work with one of those little knives.
He's a pretty big boy.
How big a boy are you?
Well, he may be hunting them key deer. Y'all seen them? They're about the size of a Chihuahua. That might work for that.
Man, well, and on the opposite spectrum of that, hunting deer, I used to use a 270 with hand loads, and I'm talking they were 110 grain SSTs going at about 3,400 feet per second. I mean, these babies were cooking. The problem with that is the bullet would go all the way through the deer before the bullet said, "Oh, it's time to expand."
Yeah.
So the deer never even knew it was shot. Yeah. So I'm chasing these things 200-300 yards. I mean, they eventually die. It's not really fair to the animal. I was shooting them with way too hot of a load. It was extremely accurate. I used to use it in a target round.
Well, even at 250 yards, just a regular 130 grain, like Federal Blue Box, it's still running. Looking at my ballistic calculator because I've got it up here, it's still running 2,700 feet per second. By the time it gets to the deer, I can promise you I get through and throughs at 250 yards.
Right, but 2,700 is different than 3,400 because that's what I was talking. They leave the barrel at 36.
Right. But what I'm saying is, even out to 250 yards, I'm still getting through and throughs with the 270.
Right.
So,
the deer doesn't know it's shot.
Yeah.
Let me help y'all out. Get you a 30-06 with some Winchester Super X gray box 180 grain bullets. Shoot a deer. Back the truck up and throw them in the tailgate. It's over.
Now, Rob will get a kick out of this. My brother went through this weird process where he started off with a 30-30, and he got his hands on some different ammunition. Some of it my dad had made back in the day. Well, anyway, he was taking these really, really light lead loads, and he was going deer hunting with it. He wasn't getting anything. He was getting pissed. Like he'd shoot a deer and just run off like something bit me, you know? And so his step up, this is what I love. I love my brother. He is a man of extremes. He goes from 30-30 using some target loads that weren't really to a 300 Win Mag for our deer, which means that not when he shot him, not only did he kill it, but he field dressed it on the spot. Like guts are laying in the neighbor's yard.
It's already roasted, man. Just go slice it up and make a sandwich.
Hey,
Yeah.
tenderloins are done.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So hey, next week we're gonna have Kenny, I think, join us. Eagle Eye Shooting says he's wanting to join do a guest spot. If you guys are cool with that. Do we have any ideas for next week?
Next week, you mean next week, week after next?
Oh, not the week after that. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, bro.
Well, I could actually try to maybe actually get some video going. That probably wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know, but it might help. Yeah.
I mean,
well, let me tell you, it sounds like a terrible idea at first, but you actually start having a lot of fun with it.
I mean, I could put your chronograph picture back up there, and I was having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, but that's not on video.
Well, I can play the video and roll it if you want me to.
Sir, you sound like a grown-ass man. You can do anything you want. I already admitted I shot my chronograph.
Well, Mig came in and said hi. Hey, on the chat there, if you guys got an idea for something for us to talk about next week, or not next week, but the week after, I got to get that straight. The week after, go ahead and put it in the comment section. We'll see what the other guys have.
Oh, Nathan from the Reloading Room posted something on YouTube, which sent me a message that said, "Hey, we're going live in 30 minutes." I was like, "Oh crap!"
So I figured that out, by the way. And Nathan, the way your invites are going out, they're going out through Google Plus. So if you don't have a Google Plus account, that's probably why you're not getting the
yeah. I think you're right on that.
So that's what I had to do is I had to go in and sign up for Google Plus, and then I could see
him text it to me, and it works great.
Well, he was supposed to text to me, but I don't think my phone ever actually went off. I think he can't dial a damn number to send.
Most likely.
What you got there, Kyle?
I've got these are those 4 or what are they? 280? What are they, Jamie?
285 grain.
Yeah, 285s. These are the gas checked ones. I was in the process. Where is it at? There it is. I was in the process of gas checking them when I saw the alert that said, "Hey, you need to get ready to go live." Okay.
Well,
crap.
Jay
So
said he wanted to. He wants to shoot a deer with a 44 Magnum.
As long as there's a chronograph in front of it, I can hit it. But yeah, I was in the process. I've got, and here's what I'm going to do, because turkey season is about to end here in Georgia, so I'll be able to do a lot more outdoor filming. I've got a handful of gas check bullets, and I managed to save some. They're the gas check design, but I'm not going to put a gas check on them. So we'll see if there's any accuracy difference between those two. And that's just something to play with, and it involves shooting, so I'm good.
Yeah, that'll. I've never messed around with a bullet that actually is a gas check bullet, not gas checking it. I'd be interested to see how that turns out for you. Because I think that could probably go pretty well or possibly pretty bad. I don't know.
It could be either good or bad.
Honestly,
I don't know if
Memorial Day?
One more time.
That weekend. Mick just said that the 25th. That's Memorial Day weekend. So I'm terrible with keeping up with that stuff. That's one of the things my girlfriend does for me. So if it is, maybe we'll talk that out and see if people are interested in streaming then or not.
I'm gonna be. Well, I'll be back Sunday night, but Friday night I will not be here. I want to be in the middle of no Internetville and shooting stuff and videoing it.
Yeah.
You ain't coming to my house, are you? Because if you are, I need to hide my chronograph.
Yeah.
So,
I
Kenny,
don't know what this thing will do either. It's going to be fun to try. So I don't know if powder coating it before or after the gas check will help. I've heard that go ahead and gas check them, then powder coat them because they've had gas checks separate. But I've run these through, and this is great. Let's see. Where am I at? The NOE sizing die that comes in from both sides, but all you have to replace, no matter what caliber you're using, is that little $6 piece. You can go from 357 to 500 to 380 for 18 bucks. You're good to go. It's actually really amazing.
If you keep your temperature down, you shouldn't have a problem with your gas checks coming off. I mean, we're not back in the day when we were doing everything, 350, 400 degrees, then yeah, you'd actually anneal your own gas checks. But nowadays, I mean, everybody's doing things at 15 minutes at 325 or 300 or even 250. So I don't think.
Yeah, I've got a couple of powders that'll actually run at 270 for 15 minutes, and it's just the same result as 400 for 30 minutes. So, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Willie says he used to use a 30-06 with 168 grain national match bullets to drop deer. I would think it wouldn't exactly expand all that well, but if it works, it works.
No, sir. They expand extremely well.
Really? The national match bullet? I would think that wouldn't. Interesting. Huh.
It flies truer than, say, a soft flat point or something like that. It flies a lot truer. It's got a much higher ballistic coefficient. But yeah, those match bullets, I've shot some into some ballistics gel, and it's stupid what happens to them.
I've heard the same thing. Sierra claims that their Match King bullets will really expand out probably 3 times the size.
Oh, the tip Match Kings? Oh, my Lord.
Even
you
if
can take a 30 caliber projectile and, yeah, it'll expand at least 3 times.
I mean, even if you're not getting enough, permanent cavity expansion, as long as you get a good temporary wound channel in there, just from the velocity of that round going in with the match rounds, you probably ought to be able to do enough damage that it might not make much of a difference.
Oh, they just fall down and then boom.
Yeah, that wound channel thing's a real deal. That's what I was running into with my 45. Willie asked me to bring my K31 out, so here it is in all of its glory. And it did have the name thing in the butt pad or in the butt plates. That was kind of interesting. It's not entirely legible. I wish it was, man. It's real close. I could almost read it, but it was still pretty cool. But yeah, she's a tack driver for darn sure. It's that straight pull, which is really always kind of that's the attention getter.
Nice.
7.5 Swiss.
What's that?
7.5 Swiss.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a beautiful rifle, man.
Yeah. It is a pretty gun. I was very lucky to get it off my dad. I think the only reason why he actually traded it to me was because I shoot so well with it. I think it was one of those things like he's like, yeah, my eyes are junk. It's an open sight gun. He shoots like ridiculous with it, so he'll trade me. I think that's how that went. I don't know, but I'll take it.
Bring out a couple of more, and a Mooser's going to be buying up milsurps for you. You know it.
Yeah, hey man, actually, I don't know about. They're hard to find down here.
Yeah, well, there's that one pawn shop down by you, close to the base that has occasionally got some. But other than that, around here, good luck. Absolutely good luck.
Yeah, and the only thing you're going to find are musty nuggets. You won't find anything else usually.
I saw one decent one when I was down there once, and it was probably about 3 months ago, and it was one of those. I shot the 303 Brit. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had the bronze butt plate and all that stuff. I believe it was an infield, but it looked like it was in pretty good condition. But other than that, I've not seen anything else milsurp wise around here at all.
Now
they are
get out
all over the place.
Start finding them again.
They're everywhere up here.
Yeah, not down here. Down here, I don't want to use that word because I don't like that word. That deals with hunting and hunters. But down here, that's most of what you see. In fact, we had a really good gun shop down here. They moved locations because of rent issues, and now they're almost completely a hunting place. Like almost all the reloading stuff's gone.
Talking about T3.
What's that?
Talking about T3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it completely changed. It went from being the best gun shop down here to a place I go if I'm like real close to it and just driving by. So it's really crazy how that works down here. It's like it's really, really hunting focused, and what they're after are there's guys down here that have old land money, and they'll pay $4,000 for a shotgun, and that's how these places are making ends meet is by selling really, really high end like shotguns and stuff like that. And they just don't carry milsurps and stuff. It just doesn't move.
So I don't need to come down there. Is that what you're saying?
Unless you want to go dove shooting with somebody with $1 billion gun. I don't.
You know what? My Remington will probably do just as good as their Satori Lightning.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So it looks like nobody's got any. Jamie, what do you got for big bore revolver?
Funny you should bring that up. Keep it right here next to my heart.
Woohoo!
What's the name of my channel?
Yes, sir. 586 SW.
That's what it is. 6-inch 357 Magnum.
That's
Now
pretty
these are
pistol,
some
sir.
old Hogue. Thank you. These are just some old Hogue grips I put on there. I got the original wooden ones in the gun safe, but
Well, maybe that's what we can do sometime. Maybe in a couple weeks, do a big bore revolver chat. Loser, you got anything like that?
I've got a GP 100 357.
Fair enough.
I love it.
Something to talk about.
I'll have to go get out of my 4-wheeler because that's where it lives. But yeah,
I can get a friend of mine. He's got a SP 101 5-shot 357, and he loves it, and it is dead on accurate. I'm dinging steel at 50 yards, and it's got a 2-inch barrel.
Armament and Axes asked about powder coat and cast bullets. Man, it's the wave of the future. The way of the future. In my opinion, I mean, I've been through a lot of the different stuff with casting. I've been doing it for a while, about 10 years or so. I've gone through all the voodoo and no answers and conflicting answers and all that crap. I went through all of it, and in the end, powder coating is the way to go in a lot of cases. There's going to be times I think when a traditional loop bullet will be probably better, maybe. I don't know.
The only time that I've seen a rise in accuracy versus powder coated versus traditional lube versus gas check, whatever, is in rifle rounds. Pistol rounds, even big bore pistol rounds, everything's the same. Versus powder coating, and that's why I'm doing these, because I want to make sure that the big bore stuff, because I've done it with 500 Smith & Wesson, I've done it with 357, I've done it with 45 long Colt, 45 auto, 9mm, and there I can find no difference between a traditional lubed, gas checked bullet or non-gas checked bullet and a powder coat bullet. I
can find some differences. I found speed differences. I run almost 50 feet per second faster in my 45 ACP with a powder coated bullet.
But you're talking accuracy. I mean, yes, I'm sure there's velocity differences. I'm talking accuracy. I find no difference because you're talking about a pistol. 50 yards, it's going to be where it is anyway. 12 yards, I really hadn't checked it because I only shoot about 25. But as far as accuracy on pistol bullets, I haven't seen it. On rifle bullets, I have seen it. Traditional lube, gas check seems to be better, but I'm also studying gas checked powder coated because I did not do that back then when I made those, or didn't even make videos, but I was writing everything down on a notebook.
Yeah, powder coating is a huge deal for me. I think it makes a big difference in what you're doing. The reason why I like it particularly for revolvers is because I'm a Ruger fan, and we run into an issue with a lot of, especially the newer Rugers. where the throat diameter isn't right, and the powder coating can really help there to make up those differences. But we're getting actually pretty close to time, guys. Maybe we can hit on that one later on. But we definitely been talking about that on the Reloaders Network. I think there's a section on the powder coating.
There is, and I'm going down to my shooting area with, I don't know, 40 gigs of memory that I'm probably going to fill up with shooting, because I've got a lot of stuff set aside to test. I've got these 44 bullets versus these 44 bullets versus powder coated versus gas checked versus these 44 bullets. I mean, I got a lot of stuff to do. Jamie, come on down, brother. We're going to have steak and rabbit every night.
All right, guys. If you got anything last, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jamie. My fault.
We have any questions? Any other questions before we sign off tonight? And we'll try to do that powder coating armament and axes. We'll hit that first off next time we get together if y'all want to.
Absolutely, yeah. That's absolutely, Willie. I want a 454 as well. I love 45 cal guns for some reason, so I'm with you on that.
And some of you guys have asked about my bullet trap. I'm going to make a more in-depth video on that. And actually, a buddy of mine is making me a different style that he thinks will work better. I'll set them side by side and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, I'd be interested. What kind of metal are you using for that thing?
Armor plating. The problem is the side panels are extremely strong. The tubing, this is all stuff that I could round up, okay? The tubing that I used on the back, my buddy used his AK-47 and blew right through it.
Right, and that's what I was wondering for the tubing. The tubing specifically, what you were going to do to
right
with that.
So Eric's come up with a different design, which makes it where you still have the V of the, you know, the where you put your target and it makes a V, but the tubing is over here on the side, so it has to lose a bunch of velocity on the armor plating before it rolls around.
Yeah, see, I was thinking just drop a horizontal or a vertical angled one down behind it. You know, a vertical piece of that armor plating down behind it to check it down like that. But that would work too.
Well, and me and Eric were playing with the idea when we built it. We built it over at his house. I had some stuff over here. He had some stuff over there. And we just went over to his house on a Friday night and started having fun. About 11 o'clock, everybody decided to go to sleep. Then, you know, Sunday, we decided to finish it. And we've realized there's some design changes that would have prevented AK-47 round from going straight through the back of it. I actually do have a piece of steel to put on the back of my tubing to reinforce it. That way that won't happen. The gap was too wide. There needs to be an overlap. Hang on. Let me see if okay. This side of steel needs to be here. This side of steel needs to be deeper. That way the bullet has to hit either this piece or this piece and then get directed that, hang on, okay, that way and go around the tube. You know what I'm saying? Either make a left or a right-handed, however you feel like doing it.
Love the handed.
But channel it that way, because the way that we welded it and the material we were using, you're not shooting through the side of it, but when you got it, when you started welding it, you got it so hot it spread out.
Right.
So it wasn't, if you didn't hit the side of the plate, it was going right through the back of it. And that's what happened. My buddy Josh was a pretty good shot and just shot right through the back of it. But I mean, it works great if you stand off to the side of it, but we're going to make another one. And he's in the process of doing that. He wants to start actually doing this kind of stuff for a business out of his house. I don't know what the hell he charged for it, but.
It'll be pretty heavy, hard to ship.
One more time?
It'll be pretty heavy, hard to ship. So you're going to end up having to be just local, and then that's going to limit what you're doing. But still a good.
Well, no, because we're going to hope that whoever's shooting at it's a pretty good shot. He's wanting to make a pistol version and a rifle version that one person can just pick up and put it either in the trunk of their car. I'll actually demonstrate it. Trunk of the car, back of a pickup truck, whatever. Because the one that we built the first time, Jesus, it takes 3 people to move it.
Well, that was my point, Kyle. Was it's just gonna be hard to ship. So if you're trying to sell it, you know, it's
Well, no. We're redesigning everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to advertise because, I mean, he doesn't even have a business name. It's just me and him messing around in his garage. So,
man, advertise all you want if it's a good idea, but
That's a hell of a business name right there. Me and him messing around in the garage.
.com.
all right, guys. Well, anybody got any last comments or anything? I appreciate. Well, we got 13. We've had 15. I think I saw 16 viewers, 18 viewers at one point. So I appreciate you guys all coming out. Anybody got like their final remarks or anything? Then we'll go ahead and shut this down so everybody can enjoy the rest of their night.
Yeah, Willie bought a lubricizer.
Woohoo!
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in and all the comments and everything. And hope y'all have a good rest of the weekend. And we'll get out and shoot some and have some fun.
Everybody tell all the mothers in your life, whether it be your ex-wife, your current wife, your mother, your grandmother, or whatever, tell them Happy Mother's Day, okay? Because it really means a lot to them.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me this week. Appreciate everybody showing up. Go Gators. Definitely want to throw that in there. But
Boo, hiss, boo. Am I
Oh.
going to have to say it?
You're cutting out, Jamie. I can't hear you.
Said it. I said, go dogs. Woof, woof.
Oh, wait a minute. Where are you from? Not
North
you,
Florida.
Jamie. He knows who I'm talking to.
North Florida.
If you say chomp chomp, I'm cutting the phone off.
He already said go Gators, Kyle.
Oh, God almighty. I was going to say nice to meet you, but I don't think I can say that now.
No, man, we was all passing these notes around, and Tim caught on to it right quick on the Reloaders Network. So
I was too busy just running my mouth. I don't have a computer here, so I don't have that power. I've got an iPad and a phone.
I was back during the week, but all right. Whenever you
Either
get
way, it
ready,
doesn't matter. I've got an iPad and a phone.
Nathan, you can turn us off when you get ready. Thank everybody for joining in.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Good chat today. So we're not going to be on next week. Maybe the week after. Depends on when Memorial Day fits. It looks like Kyle might not be able to make it that Friday. But we're going to try to work something in, and I'll let you know. I'll post it in on Slack, as well as there'll be a notification on YouTube. But I appreciate it, guys. Willie, you have a good night. OP, have a great night. I appreciate you guys commenting. Let us know if you got any ideas. Hit us up on Slack. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Hopefully we have a few watching. I'll talk to you guys later.
That's where we're at, man.